coming up on the Uplift. They have faced much tougher waters than these. How the strong group of women is fighting against cancer. Then, keeping people warm without any kind of judgment. We're gonna take you inside this safe space, gearing up for the cold. And connecting the old with the new. How one teen is helping seniors understand technology. Welcome, friends, to the Uplift. In this digital series, we're going to be sharing some of our favorite stories we hope will put a smile on your face. It's our goal to lift your spirits for at least the next 30 minutes, but hopefully for a lot longer than that. I'm Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. Thank you so much for being with us. After a year of raising money, a cat sanctuary in Faribault has a new place for its cats to play. We first told you about Furball Farm in Faribault earlier this year. The sanctuary took in hundreds of feral cats to get them healthy and train them to be around humans. Some great news from them. They just opened up a new playground for the cats. And for any of you cat lovers, you can stop by and play with them every day from 1 to 5. Now we want to wish a huge thank you to WCCO viewers. Once again, you stepped up to support our community. On October 11th, we shared stories to help support our Wishes in Flight drive in partnership with Make-A-Wish Foundation. And thanks to your help, we raised more than 1.1 million airline miles. These are critical funds that will help grant Make-A-Wish experience to a child with a critical illness. If you still want to help, you can donate at wcco.com/make-a-wish. A group of survivors are fighting back in a unique way with boats and paddles. John Lordson shows us how the Dragon Divas empower each other.
At Lake Gervais in Little Canada.
It's fantastic. It's so inspirational.
Dozens of women ages 34 to 85 grab their paddles, hop in boats, and find their rhythm.
I love that in dragon boat racing they call racing festivals. It makes it so much more diva-ish.
Meredith Leary Johnson is one of the newest members of the Dragon Divas. They practice up to 3 times a week. And as much fun as this is, it was a breast cancer diagnosis that brought them together.
I had the misfortune of being diagnosed in the middle of the pandemic. And so kind of dealt with so much loss. All at once.
Like many of her teammates, when Meredith got done with treatment at Alina Health, she didn't know what to do next. Her physical therapist recommended the Divas.
I'm sitting behind a woman who's a grandmother 7 times over, and behind me is a woman who's in her 30s.
It's really been a focus in my life since 17 years ago.
Corey Graham is one of the leaders. After being diagnosed years ago, she went through 37 radiation treatments in 2 months. It made her want to take control of her health any way she could.
And so to get on a dragon boat and paddle shows our family and our friends the strength that's stayed within us, even though on the outside our appearances might have looked pretty weak. Everything just comes together because we're comfortable with each other. We have a relationship built with trust and love, ultimately.
In Little Canada, John Lordson, WCCO News.
A shift in temperatures is leading to some shuffling of the wardrobe, but the change is not easy for some of the LGBTQ plus community. Our Jason Rantala explains how Twin Cities Pride is helping to provide gender-affirming clothing during a time the community needs it most.
They can come in and pick out things that make them feel good about themselves.
This is just a sampling of Twin Cities Pride's rainbow wardrobe. Gender-affirming clothing provided absolutely free for LGBTQ plus individuals.
Gender-affirming clothing is basically what you feel comfortable in, whatever clothing that is. No judgment, no anything. So if you want to come in and wear a dress, it doesn't matter who you are or what you represent. Being a trans man, I realized that it's not always easy going into a store and finding clothing that fits you. You know, you're not super comfortable. And so I sat down with my team and we started talking about it and started talking about what we can do. The
donation-driven program began at this year's Pride Festival, and it's taken off from there. But as the temps drop,
but as things start to get cold, it's a need.
The need for warm clothing rises.
We are in much need of winter clothing, jackets, suits, anything that could be worn out in the cold to help these folks out. Things like these are really important. This is probably the heaviest jacket, and if you know Minnesota, this isn't gonna last all through winter.
A judgment-free way to dress to who you are.
Well, sometimes being a trans person, you're sometimes hiding some things, and we'll help you along the way.
Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
When we come back, a new way to practice an old skill, the new technology helping kids learn to read.